Whoa, dogs are going, and good morning. Welcome to the Bearing Podcast. This is number 4. Today we got Dale the Impaler, we got Bubba, we got myself fully. We're doing it on a beautiful Saturday morning, a morning of endless possibilities. I feel the sun is shining, sky is blue, and there's hockey on all day. It's a good day. How you feeling, Dale?
Oh, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm coming to you live from Vancouver today. Do a bit of an emergency trip here unplanned.
You're a heart
Leaving at
surgeon?
noon on a Thursday. Giving her. Anyway, but it's not a blue sky here. It's
No,
raining.
my dad lives there in Crofton, and he says it's just raining too much. Can't get on his motorbike.
Yeah, it's been a wet one. Wet.
Yeah, the old man there, he loves to ride his bike. It's what his zen place. It's where he's most happiest, I believe. You know, and he's had some unlucky breaks on the bike, but it's one of those things, you know, if you love it, you're gonna stick with it regardless, you know. Everything's got some inherent danger to it, but
There you go.
he loves riding that bike. Vancouver just scored, by the way. Revote, just right around the net. Just Durkin looking pretty human on it.
That's good.
So how was your week, Dale?
How was my week? It was good. It started out good, as weeks do. It was good in the hockey universe. Canucks won 6-1, and then they won again 6-1, and then they tied up at the very last second in one game there. And then sadly the Blues scored in overtime, which kind of sucked. But I thought that was a really good game. Unfortunately, I was on the ferry for the last period, so I missed it. But I was able to watch the second period and then intermission. Then I got on the ferry, and then I didn't have internet.
Oh, you were hanging around with Bruce?
Yeah, Bruce on the ferry. That's right. Um, no, I was speaking of ferries. I don't know. You guys are up in the PC. You don't live by the ferry anymore, or maybe you have in the past. But I, grew up on Vancouver Island. So there's a lot of ferry things. I've been on the ferries a million times. But there's like old ferries and new ferries, and the old ferries are getting pretty long in the tooth. And I was on this one called the Queen of Alberni, and man, it's looking every minute of its whatever 50 plus years, lots of rust and whatnot, and it tilts to one side. So it was kind of, I hadn't been on it in a long time. I'm like, is this ferry okay? I mean, are we going over? Anyway, it was a bit windy too, so it was a bit rocky, and it was tilted. So I was like, oh my god. Anyway, we made it.
You weren't comfortable with that ferry.
Yeah, I too long in the piece, I guess. Become less of a ferry master. And then also what I call ferry magic, which is when you show up at the ferry and you get in the line and they tell you, oh, it's going to be a ferry wait or whatever, but you end up being like the last few cars on. Well, I did not get ferry magic. I drove up there, I'm in the lineup, and I ended up being the second car. So two cars that ahead of me was the last guy on. So there was one guy in front of me and then me, and I had to wait to say like super sucks. Those are the worst. I mean, it's okay if you're way back because you're like, oh well, I didn't have a chance. But when you're like one or two cars away from the cutoff, I'm a loser.
It's like a bus route when you're a kid. You're the first one picked up every day, and the last one dropped off.
Yeah.
Sucks. So when you said fairy magic, there's a different connotation as well. Like Tinkerbell was a fairy.
Tinkerbell was. She was magical. Speaking of fairy magic, Bubba Roode, what's going down in Oiler Town?
What's going down in Oiler Town? The Oilers actually had a really decent week. When you start back Friday last week, they beat the Islanders in OT 2-1. They beat the Rangers 3-1. They stomped Utah 7-1. Lost a really good close game to the Jets 4-3 in overtime. The biggest problem we had all week was 2 injuries that are pretty key. Lost Draisaitl to an undisclosed lower body. Lost McDavid against the Jets from that little cross check that didn't actually hit him in the arm. It hit him in the ribs, it looks like. So saw another view of it yesterday, or last night, I guess it was. And he gets right underneath his arm and hits him right in the ribs. So that's not a great one. They say he's somewhere between day to day and week to week. So
he could have a cracked rib. That would suck.
Even if it's bruised, it's just about as bad, to be honest.
Well, it sucks because it's like one of those injuries you can't. It's every movement moves that part of your body.
Oh, it's just Just breathing
like
hurts.
skating,
So.
shooting, and everything sucks.
Cracked my
Yeah.
ribs before, just sleeping. You sneeze or you cough, you wake up in cold sweat. Somebody tells a stupid joke, you laugh, hurts.
Yeah.
End up sleeping in a lazy boy upright with pillows, so I didn't move much. And that seemed to do the
best
trick. But
solution.
Oh,
it's one of the had lots of broken bones and pulls and separations and tears, and those ribs were one of the worst, I think, just for all around discomfort and being pissed off because you're just pissed off all the time.
I have a great story that just happened to my brother-in-law about and he's not a sporty guy in any way. He's over 50, a parent, and so he somehow trips into his kitchen. So there's like some stairs into his kitchen. I've been there. It's fine, like a couple of little stairs, but he trips into these little stairs. This happened last week. Falls, throws out his arm to like stop himself from falling, and smashes it into the door jamb, breaking his hand. But then that reevaluates his body twists, and he starts falling to the other side of the door jamb, and breaks his upper arm, like his humerus, I guess.
So
And-
on a
and then-
different arm.
the different arm, yeah, different side, because
He's
so then he falls to the ground, and he's fucking done. And now he has a broken arm and a broken hand, opposite, and he's off work obviously because he has no arms.
Because can't
And
do
he's
nothing.
probably, I'm gonna guess
then-
his job. I'm gonna guess his job. Is he
I-
one of
I-
those Japanese
I don't know.
cooking
This
for
is
you?
the part. I don't know. I don't know that.
Because that'd be really bad if he was like one of those cooks in Japanese village and he's got to do all those stunts and tricks.
Yeah, and then the other thing is on the hand that's broken on the opposite arm. He jammed his arm, just breaking his hand, jammed it so hard that he actually strained the shoulder and is now in like an immense shoulder pain as well. So he's literally armless.
Or a juggler. If he's a juggler, he's in trouble too.
Yeah. Well, he's just down to his teeth, right? Got to do everything with his mouth, yes, and toes. But-
Sounds like a girl I knew once that got her way paid for college. Well, she was a singer. What did you think I was?
Oh yeah, that's what you were saying. Okay. Anyway,
Right to there, eh, Dale? She was a beautiful
well,
singer.
you know what? You're the one who started it. I just, what? It's not my fault. I was raised poorly. I think we should talk about these like creatures you have in the background there. What's going down?
I'm
sitting
dog
dog.
sitting for my cousins while they're down watching their granddaughter's birth. So
And they're not
Okay.
dogs. They're furry rats.
They're-
like
they're-
woolly mammoth rats.
they're golf balls with fur and feet.
And just
Are you serious? Are they like little Pomeranians?
3 Pomeranians. Yes.
3.
Yes. The mom, the dad, and the baby.
Yappy, Yapper, and Yapperson.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And yet fully
So-
loves them. So
So those not aware of Mr. Rude's dimensions, you're a pretty big dude. So these dogs have got to be like your hand size.
the smallest one is just longer than my hand. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Like a guinea pig.
Exactly.
There you go.
All that Oilers went over the Jets, watched with Bubba, and first thing I noticed that me and Bubba are looking at, like, freaking Jets are big. Like, they made the Oilers look small all over the ice, and they can move.
Yeah.
And I thought Hallebuck did not look good. Thought he looked less than,
He certainly
Human,
looked
yeah.
human that night.
I didn't even know if human. I think watching him track that puck, he was looking one way and the puck's on the other, and he was overcorrecting a lot in his net. And just everybody's gonna have bad games, but that one didn't look good. Didn't look good. Looked at Stu Skinnerish.
We're getting close to playoffs, so maybe the playoff flu is bugging him.
Yeah, not feeling good.
Well, let's face it, he's got a reputation for disappearing come playoff time. So, and I mean, it's got to be at least partially workload related. I mean, they play the shit out of him, and add the Four Nations Cup on top of his normal workload. He's got to be pretty much powering out at this point, and they're far enough ahead. I don't know why they don't just rest him for 2 or 3 games in a row. But
Nah, there's just some guys that won't though, right? They're like, no,
I
you
know,
play me.
but
You play me. Who knows what incentive he's got in his contract too for wins and games played and stuff like that.
entirely possible. But I just don't. I don't know.
Oh, you think that like he's got to have if you play the games, he gets paid more. That's an interesting. Yeah.
Well, not like they can add bonuses or incentives, whatever you want to call them. I don't know much about it, to be honest with you, but pretty sure there's something, for guys that score. If you're 15 goal scorer and you put 25 in there, there's probably a good bonus for you. Or your defenseman who's normally plays 16 minutes, and if you average more than 18.5 a game or something, there's an incentive. Who knows? But who knows? It might be a wins thing for him. He was playing the Oilers, so he was probably thinking shutout.
Right.
Like,
Wow.
coach, don't take me out of this game. I was making an analogy of with Draisaitl out and Connor out. It'd be like a Reese's peanut butter cup with no chocolate or peanut butter.
Ooh, that's nasty.
Yeah, there's nothing left. There's
You know,
nothing
But
left.
I mean, to the Oilers' credit, the rest of those guys stepped up all game long, and especially after Connor left the game, they were playing pretty good hockey, and we had Henrique stepping up and looking like a hockey player again, and they got a nice goal to keep it tied up, and had a really good chance in overtime.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was a really good save by Hellebuyck, the only time they actually needed one, and they came back down and scored. So
Again, I'll make another analogy. If you're in a group full of people and the plane crashes, people find skills that they don't normally have because they're in crisis mode. And when you don't have Draisaitl and McDavid, you're in crisis mode. So those guys don't have to play and they learn how to build a fire, maybe do some primitive trapping and hunting. But once they get back to their hotel and whatever city they live in, they're back to, boudettes and getting people to buy their own groceries, right? So once they're back, we'll see if they can still play desperate and still play with a sense of urgency and need, which hasn't been.
I mean, maybe this will be the fire that lights under him and gets him actually ready for the playoffs. So,
They played probably the most hockey of them in Tampa or not Tampa, but Florida in the last little bit here. And they got a playoff spot. I'd imagine they probably care a little bit where they end up in the standings, but I'm pretty sure the main thing for them was just let's get to the playoffs, get to the dance again, and try and find that spark, find that lightning in a bottle again that you need to win a cup. And
yeah,
I think we'll see a different Oilers, as much as I hate to say it, in the playoffs, just because I think they've matured every year. I've watched them play the last 4 year playoffs. They seem to find a hole and plug it, or find a weakness and make it stronger. Just in the playoffs, a little bit in the season, but in the playoffs, the last 2 years they've done that well.
yeah, their biggest thing right now is just to make sure that they get to the playoffs and try to stay ahead of the Kings.
Yeah, and the Flames, they had a rough start. Toronto, it would have been nicer to see, for Wolf being on the big stage. Everybody loves the Toronto media and the red carpet treatment that NHL players get there, and how much exposure. And Calgary comes out and lays an absolute egg. First period, Wolf plays really, really well. Second period, they decide to be really lazy, led by Nazem Kadri again. Goes offside on they got a power play. He's floating the wing side option, and they're actually giving them the line a little bit, and he doesn't even drag a foot. He's just like doing his little skippy skate thing that he does, and just saunters over the line without making sure, paying attention to detail again. And is what it is. And he takes a penalty that just starts the avalanche, the snowfall, heavy snowfall warning. And another couple dumb penalties. Huberdeau jumps on the ice. I didn't know what the heck was going on there. The refs, you can hear the ref through the broadcast. Too many men, and Huberdeau kind of looks at him and saunters all the way to the other side of the boards, and nobody came off. It wasn't like it was a misjudge on the change. I saw the wide view of it, and he just jumped on the ice. It's like when you're in Mighty Might, you try to get one by the referee. Put a kid out there late because it's usually 11, 12-year-olds reffing, or some old guy that just making $25 to move around it once or twice a week, and I don't know what the heck was going on. But yeah, another too many men, another goal. Wolf gets pulled. First time Calgary goal has been pulled all year, and to no fault of his own. Like I was talking to Bubba, he's watching or listening on the internet, and a couple of the announcers, so-called experts, saying that Wolf finally looked like he had a bad game, and it wasn't a bad game. It's the bad team in front of him. You don't let a kid suffer for the I thought it maybe even could have got pulled earlier to send a message after the 3. And again, not because he was at fault, but just that team was so not there and playing undisciplined. So sucks. You give the kid that's basically giving you a chance to get into the dance at the end of the year. They just abandon him, and there you go, kid. But that's what it is. They went on and won the next two convincingly, beat Markstrom, which I really like. Couldn't stand him in Calgary either. He'd be one game, he'd be a Vezina looking goalie. The other one, he looked like he just called him up. He was an emergency call up from the Toledo Mud Hens or something. And then they made him look like he's supposed to look. Not good. They played today against the Islanders. Got a couple games in hand on St. Louis, which looks very strong. And I don't think the way Vancouver's playing right now. I was thinking it was being not as tight as a race as it's going to be. But I think it's going to come right down to the last 3 or 4 games, and there's going to be some unhappy teams and one team that'll be a good story to start the playoffs, especially St. Louis. I think if any of those teams have a chance to make that first round upset, with Winnington and net and St. Louis's structure, love saying that word, how they play the game, and they're a hard team to play against. And it's 7 games, it wouldn't be fun. Winnington's going to steal 1 or 2, and just need to get on a heater again like they did when they won the cup. Nobody thought that was going to happen, but they have one of those teams. Look out for St. Louis.
Yeah, and they got a lot of young guys that haven't had that first round performance like they did back
So
then.
you're thinking the Blues are gonna. I mean, it's pretty tight, but not really. I think they're gonna make the playoffs. But so you're figuring they're gonna make a run if they make the playoffs. They'll be able.
I think they just got one of those
in the first round.
They just got one of those teams that when you're in the playoffs, they're built kind of that way. The area of the ice, their time shortens up. People are always playing on the right side of the puck, and the Blues kind of play that way already. So there's not much of a transition to how they're going to have to play their game, just a little more intensity, a little more attention to detail. But their game that they have is structured that way already. And like I said, you got old Winnington and net, and that guy will go a little screwy in playoffs and be who he can be. One of those guys, be frustrating to beat. And that's all you need. Catch a little fire through tender, play disciplined, detail-oriented hockey, and have the guys with the will and the want. And that's a dangerous 8-7 seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
the only thing is that they're going to end up against, pretty good teams one way or the other. I mean,
oh, absolutely. There's no doubt
they're
about
going
it.
to be
Oilers playing better. You got killers all in the West, and just just the rundown. You got Winnipeg, LA, Edmonton. And then you go to the other side, and you got LA, Edmonton, and Las Vegas, and then you got the Winnipeg, Dallas, Colorado, and then Minnesota. If they get healthy, they're a wagon at the start of the year, and who knows what they can be when they get their people back.
Yeah.
No, it's all good. My week it was good. Got to watch my middle daughter finish out her minor hockey career. She had a tournament in Beaver Lodge. It's a sparkling community. It's good always to go there. It's a good little hockey town. And they beat a team that they hadn't beat all year, which was a big win for them. But they lost out in the semis, which for them to get there and put a show in was good. But my daughter, the whole build up to the weekend, is like, Dad, if we're losing and there's nowhere to go to games, goes, I want to get in a fight. I don't think.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, Ryland, right? I just want to do it. She grew up playing, boys hockey. She played midget hockey with the boys, so she likes that stuff. The physical stuff and the compete and the getting a little aggro. So they're down pretty hefty going into the third, and you can go into Beaver Lodge and you can watch where they walk by to go to the restroom. So I caught her eye, and I went talked to her. I just told her, I think it's better to go out classy on this. They've got another game to play. You don't want to see one of their players get hurt, and you don't want to take one out. I don't think any of them are going to want to drop the gloves with you. Have some fun out there. Still get a couple moments of aggression out of you your last time, but she didn't. She finished strong. She had a great career. She led the league in penalty minutes, led her team in goals. So it's kind of stat you want to see from a defenseman.
There you go.
But other than that, got to witness a lot of, well, not a lot, but it was loud in there. I can't stand watching hockey and just noise for noise sakes, like cowbells and clappers. I get it. Kids on the ice appreciate it, I'm sure. And I never cared for it. Didn't want a quiet arena, but all the noisemakers, stuff for horns, I didn't like any of that. It's my sensitivity problem. I don't know. But yeah, I was sitting there, and our team right behind me, they got cowbells just going. They got the clappers going. They're screaming. Sounded like a girls' volleyball game. Just absolutely.
Oh my God. Girls' volleyball games are awful.
Just ear cancer. Just hurts.
That and a Taylor Swift concert.
Just screaming. But, everybody's enjoying the game, and the good thing about it is I don't have to sit there. So go my own merry way, go find a quiet corner and watch the rest of the game. But that was my week. And Bubba, what did you get up to?
Pretty quiet week, to be honest. I've just mostly been watching these puppies and keeping them out of trouble, which isn't that easy to do. So,
Literally these puppies.
literally these puppies, yes.
Pretty good.
Other than that, I helped my brother fix his bobcat a little bit so he could get up back to snow plowing, and hopefully we don't have to do any more of that this year. But until the snow's
You guys
all
have a
gone,
big-
I'll never ever say that he's done. So, because
Did you have a big snow year this year?
I don't know that we had a big snow year. We had big spurts,
Oh yeah.
so we had stretches where we had lots of snow. But as a whole, I don't think it was that crazy, was it, Fully?
It was pretty. Yeah, you're right though. It was definitely stretches of a lot of snow, and then usually we get warmer and it kind of goes away a little bit, but it stayed cold. This sort not terribly cold, but the right kind of cold to keep the snow. Like up where I live, they push all the snow to the sidewalks, and so people like to park in the street too. And there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
It's off one lane of just weaving in and out of snowbanks and parked cars.
That's
We
true.
got a bike trail that's I don't know whatever it is, 15 feet wide. That I've never seen a bike on yet.
Yes, I know. That's funny.
This town,
The bike trails in Dawson Creek make no sense whatsoever.
yeah,
Um,
especially on the
for-
street we have it. We got narrow street to begin with, and then they
Yeah.
take away whatever the
Yeah.
4.5 foot sidewalk, and they put in this gargantuan thing all the way down. And hey, who wants to have to shovel that walkway in front of your house too? It makes for another driveway to shovel.
For the
Yeah.
3 months of the year that you can actually ride a bike around here.
No, it's funny. They got the nice street lamps. So you go around this town, there's 45 different types of street lamps all over the place. And I guess our area was like one of the upgrades. We got this horrible bicycle path or sidewalk, we're going to call it. And then we got these, Art Nouveau street lamps that look terrible, just right out of place. But you know what? Dawson Creek, what do you want? What do you want? You
yeah.
want homeless people? You want a bunch of people doing the fentanyl walk around here? It's pretty good.
You know,
Well,
it definitely wasn't great when I left Dawson Creek. And I have to say I didn't. It's shocking to see it because the town's just not that big, and then you got you got that problem. But compared to what's going down in the Comox Valley, but whoever is in charge of where there's like that outreach center. So anyway, where they have the outreach center, the it was just like this piles. It looked like piles of garbage and trolleys and bikes and whatever. It just looked terrible. So the solution was maybe it was the city, maybe it was the outreach center got some extra money, whatever. They built a big fence around it that you can't see. So there's like a gate, and then all the homeless people and whatnot can go in there and put their things, I guess, or anyway. So the garbage that when I first got there, it was shocking garbage lane place. You go, Jesus, what the hell's happening here? And now it's just a fence that you can't see in. So I suspect it's just as horrifying inside the fence, but it's out of sight, I guess, and out of mind. Is that the solution for this stuff?
So they're just district nining all the
Yeah, exactly.
homeless.
exactly. So I mean, on one hand, I go, well, you know what? That's great because it was quite shocking to see it, especially because it was like downtown Courtney. But I'm not sure that's a solution. Hey, I know what we're gonna do. We're just gonna put some lipstick on this pig and some eyeshadow, and she's a model.
Sure is. Well, you get what you vote for. I say it all the time. You want problems, vote the problems in. And you can, whatever political party you're going to vote for, there's going to be certain problems. So it's going to be just the certain problems you want to live with. And this is obviously one that BC is comfortable living with because they keep voting the same people that do nothing about it.
Is it like that in Alberta too, or no?
No.
I don't really
Sure
see it much in Grand Prairie.
No, it sure isn't. Weather-wise, it's much harder to do. Being homeless in southern BC is a lot easier than being homeless.
But the difference in homeless in in Dawson Creek, which is just as hard to do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Again, though, the ability, and the worst part about the homeless situation is it's primarily a mental health issue. It's not people not willing to work. It's not people that or in, there's obviously a certain section of people that like living so in a
Yeah.
way that they answer to nobody, right? But a
Yeah.
lot of it is,
Yeah.
families and family trauma and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So, just
Yeah.
saying we're going to cure homeless is such a broader
Yeah.
broader problem to fix in our. I
Yeah.
think the level of care and compassion isn't there for these people that need to be.
I mean, it's clear you're not going to choose to do that. It's
No,
not like that. And also you're right about it's not like you could just pick them up and say, oh yeah, here's a shovel, go to work. I don't think that's true either. I don't think most folks can do that. Maybe some of them, but I doubt that would be I don't think that there's many people wandering around in that kind of situation that are like, if I could just get a job, I'd be fine. Like, I don't think that's the case.
no,
No, and,
no. It
and
is what it
Dawson's
is.
got the only mental health facility in the area, so
And that's
some
why.
of those guys have been shipped here for that, and
Yeah, that makes sense.
that's just how we ended up with so many extras that we don't normally or wouldn't normally have. So
Yeah. It's a tough one.
Strategy.
it's the wonders of living in the Northern Health District.
Northern Health District. Yeah. Well, I don't want to get down the rabbit hole, but it sure isn't great. Getting a doctor is pretty complicated.
It is. It is.
Well, I'm 8 months into waiting so far, so
Are you really? Jesus.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
you're gonna
that's
have a baby soon, then too, right? What is it? Gestation's usually 10 months. They say 9, but it's closer to 10.
who's having a baby?
Bubba.
yeah.
Are you? Jesus Christ,
No.
Bubba.
Good
I
Lord,
didn't
I'm
know.
not doing that.
Congratulations, man.
I got a call this week from a good friend of mine, my wife's cousin, my cousin-in-law, I guess, and best man at my wedding. He's been listening to the podcast. He's got his youngest son in there, and they're listening away. And then gets the point or the part last week where I talk about the year-long blowjob. The kid's off. I called him when he was growing up. I called him Thor 'cause he had nice, really nice blonde hair, and he was a little animal. Still a little animal, which is good. But yeah, he's like, Uncle Foley wants a blowjob for a year. What the hell? And Chip's just like, I gotta learn something.
Oh God.
So yeah.
You know, it says explicit. I want to be clear about that. Right?
Oh, for sure. And,
That's right.
me and Jim hang out as much as we can when I'm back in Central Alberta, and his kids are around listening to us by the fire or whatever. So they've heard a lot.
That's how you should listen to this podcast. If you're not roasting marshmallows and making s'mores and looking at the stars and having a fire, this is like old time storytelling. It needs to have the flickering flame of a nice good fire.
Jim was the best man at my wedding, and my mom was the only thing she was worried about is us being able to get through my wedding party. We had fun. We were the most responsible. Like I said, I was missing for 2 days. Me and my brother-in-law went fishing and had to phone to try to find rides back to go to the rehearsal and stuff like that. So we enjoyed our time, but it was August 3rd, and we had a huge snowstorm. We were going to have an outdoor wedding, and the Olds Legion was awesome. They gave us the hall the last minute. My family and step family decorated, got everything. As thank God I did have no bridezilla. My wife Jan, she was just the easiest going gal for that stuff, so it made it really good. But when Jim Grover, my best man, goes up to make his speech to the groom, he just gets up there and he does a quick little pause and looks around. He goes, "My Uncle Ron, which is my father-in-law, said there'd be snowball fights in hell before his daughter married an Indian." Well, in the heat of August, we had a huge snowstorm, so it was kind of fitting for what he said.
That's hilarious.
And then my brother-in-law gets up there. He's doing the toast to the groom, and instead of saying something nice, he's like 10 reasons why we don't want Foley in the family. And I think number 4 is gravy wasn't a soft drink. So yeah, no, I got a lot of love from that side of the family going right in there.
It's
then
not a
just,
soft drink.
And then we
Oh.
had
Always good to
what's that?
start. Always good to start your 30 plus years of living together, and 3 daughters, off with a little bit of racism.
Oh, come on, you got to know where they're from. They're east of the highway, right?
I know.
They're great people. I was lucky to get into that family. And the same day we were doing the rehearsal with the big snowstorm trying to get in, I had people we didn't have a huge wedding, couple hundred people, I think. I don't remember that much, but we had like karaoke and stuff. It was pretty, just have a good time. There wasn't much structure to it, so to speak. But the night the rehearsal, there's a CFCN or CFRN Calgary camera crew, and they're in the Legion and they're all setting up, and we'd already had a couple drinks in us or whatever, and I walk by the camera crew, and I get all frothy and mad. I'm like, oh, an Indian's marrying a white girl in Olds, Alberta, and that's big news in this part of the province. The guy's like, what? I'm like, yeah, you heard me. And, like, that's not why we're here. I'm like, I'm sure it isn't.
Oh, Jesus. That's, I mean, that's an asshole move, because what does that poor camera crew do? Like, no, that's not why we're here. I know.
No. Well, Jan and I dated first. We got married when I was 30 because we were walking in the mall one day. And she's like, I think we should start having kids. I'm like, I agree. Let's do that. We've been together, 12 years or whatever. And she goes, but we're not married. Kids are having my last name. I'm like, walked right over to a ring shop to pick one. She picked the ring. I'm like, will you marry me? She's like, yep. And that was it. Then we got married.
Oh my God.
Pretty
That's
romantic.
hilarious.
Pretty romantic guy.
That's so, oh gosh, how beautiful is that? Wow.
Yeah, it's one she'll tell all her grandkids how romantic Grandpa was at one time.
That's right. Grandpa just showed up. Well, I guess, yeah, Grandpa. Well, your kids are still pretty young, man. You got a long time to be.
I don't know. My oldest is turning 21, and so is yours.
I know. Yeah.
My mom had kids at 20.
Well, yeah, I think my mom had me at 18, 19. True.
Right.
I was 22 when my daughter was born, my oldest. So.
Were you really? Wow, look
Yeah.
at you going. Huh.
So it's
Well, and Jesse's what?
not out of.
She's 22 or 20.
Jesse's 20 and Kim's 22. Yeah. Kim will be 23 at the end of the month.
Oh, well. There you go.
Yeah, so
Yes.
we're not out of the realm of possibility of becoming a grandfather here anytime. In the
Anytime.
near future, it's possible. Not
Yep.
probable, possible.
Possible. Yeah. I think
Well-
my kids have boyfriends first.
Yeah,
Well, my daughter's Gum. Call my daughter's boyfriend Gum out of love, because Graham's too long. Graham.
Oh,
Hey,
it's
Graham.
like, yeah, gray ham. Like, really?
So I thought Gum was just easier. I could say it in any state of mind I'm in currently.
you can grunt it.
Good.
Uh,
Kid's a beauty. Kid's a beauty. My daughter's lucky. She's a good kid.
They've been together for
Yeah.
quite a while too. So
I don't know, 4 years, going on
Yep.
5 maybe, somewhere in there. I remember their first date. It was raining. It took them to Joey's Only, and I wasn't getting out of the truck, but the kid was smart enough to walk out in the rain, come get TJ, come around to the other door, shake my hand, introduce himself. So I knew right then and there, at least he had manners and had some level of understanding and respect. If you're going to date my daughter,
well, good.
act accordingly.
There you go. Little did you know he was going to still be around.
Yeah,
Years.
it's not like my poor wife. First time she met my mom, we were going to Pine Lake, and my mom, God bless her soul, she's passed away. But if you knew her, people that are old that listen to this will have an appreciation for this. But she was a woman who never held back anything she wanted to say or do. She was a stick of dynamite, 5'2", but she'd had enough of my shenanigans with girls at that time, because I think I was 19 at the time, and she didn't like it. She even told me the one day, the way you treat girls, you're going to be blessed with all daughters in your life. And so she was the one that planned out my destiny of having 3 girls and no boys.
She's giving you what is that? The crooked eye or the evil eye? Using the gypsy-like powers.
She used to call it her black magic. So yeah, so
Black magic.
but I got lucky. My 3 girls are good. But to make this longer story even longer, my girlfriend, first time meeting her, kind of, for the most part, she's in the back seat, and we're driving to Pine Lake to our cabin, and my mom looks in the rearview mirror and locks eyes with my wife Jan, and looks and goes, "Your parents know that you'll be sleeping with my son," because I don't want to get in trouble if you guys having sex. And I'm like, "Oh, Mom, leave her alone." Hasn't said barely anything to her. But that's what she comes out, poor Jan, with.
just
Jan
exactly
got
what you
them.
want to hear, right?
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
old Donna Lee Fulton. Give me Donna Lee Winger with my stepdad, who was a beauty. Yeah, she was like talking earlier about the the hockey moms bang and stuff. My mom was next level. When I played with the Grizzlies, we had the bench seats, and she had the cowbell, and they had their season tickets or whatever. And there was a whole indent where that cowbell was, probably a good 3 to 4 inches of where she'd hit it. Her and Darlene Dallas, my buddy's mom, they sat together with our jerseys and were just loud and obnoxious, but good fans. Mom was the one, I think my buddy Jim was just telling they went to, I think it was Shore Park. They got a round arena, and some other fan or woman across the way was yelling at me, being chippy and dirty as usual, calling me names. My mom stood up and just yelled at her, "Shut the fuck up and lick my see you next Tuesday," and just yelled it in the stands. Like buddy Jim's like, "That's Foley's mom." Yeah. Remember pouring coffee down another mom's back at a tournament. Started a
Oh God.
little brouhaha. And I think my favorite moment was the first time she saw me fight in junior. I get thumped in the corner, and it's in the corner where she's at, and the refs pull us apart, and the one ref takes me out through the neutral zone, and the other guy they skate him along the wall. Well, my mom jumped onto the glass with her big 80s purse and just come over the top of the glass to hit this kid in the mind, and he just ducks, and it thunders the glass. Guy looked back, what the fuck? I just like smiling my ass up. That's my mom. Take your head off from the stands. Yeah, no, she was. They said, God rest her soul. She was the probably one of the craziest hockey moms for that kind of shit. I think our arenas have seen in Central Alberta. Like, there's lots of them, but she was always next level. Everything she did. No, it was a good end to the kid's career, and I hope the Flames get a little longer. I think it's going to be hard. I think it's going to be hard for this group, and it's going to suck too, because they're just barely going to make it, and it's going to be Wolf's fault, because Calgary's trajectory this year should have been a lottery team and a top 5 pick, and that kid has made sure single-handedly that they're going to be 12th, 10th, somewhere in there, and it's not going to get any better. They can't bench him next year, so I think their hopes of getting a lottery pick in the top 5 in the next however long that kid plays is kind of out the window. He's got a game that so far gives the Flames a chance to win every.
Yeah, and there's definitely been some where they didn't really deserve to win, and
No.
still stuck into it.
No, it's a good young group of kids playing. Obviously they sorely need help on the back end, and they really need some sort of game breaker. They don't have it on the team. Every team seems to have that, right? Either you got the forward, defenseman, goalie, superstar.
What is that noise?
That was my phone. I didn't
Oh.
have it silenced.
Oh,
It's my
okay.
wife. My wife called me. She's down in Olds right now.
Oh yeah, because it's spring break.
Spring break. But yeah, Calgary doesn't have that yet. They've got the foundation of a goaltender, and that's about it. I think they got some good young middle 6 guys, and need to either trade for something now. I think it's going to be the way to do it, or they get lucky with a mid first round pick, which can happen, or a good second round pick, which can happen as well. It's got to get those scouting, that scouting mojo, just to find that 1 or 2 guys that are coming up.
That's one thing that kind of.
And then they need some help to not blow it up and mishandle the player too.
Although Calgary's never done that. We've talked about that too many times. Not a good players that just find their way off that team for some reason.
Bennett, Monahan.
Well,
and keep going from there.
I think with Conroy there, I think, and the new arena coming.
Oh, I didn't know
Calgary,
there was an arena coming.
yeah, it should be ready in 2026. Calgary's a beautiful spot. Calgary's a great city. It's a fun city. It's got good weather for the most part, being a Canadian team. They had a good fan base. It's a good place to play hockey, considering, not playing in Dallas or Florida or, but I'd rather play there than Columbus or, I don't know about Utah. Probably a great place to play.
But I've heard that Utah is, Salt Lake City is actually not a bad town.
Salt Lake City's pretty okay. Spent a little time down there for cousin's wedding. And yeah, I'd go back there. It was nice. People were pretty friendly.
I still don't understand the whole Utah Hockey Club. I mean, I get it's not actually that terrible of a name, I guess, but it's strange that you would put all that effort and energy to get a team. It's lots
just
of money.
come down to time to be able to pick a good quality.
I feel like
it's just for this year. For next year, they're going to be rebranded. So.
All right.
Well, maybe because they're
maybe not. Maybe this is it. Yeah.
I don't know for sure because they can't use the Eddie name because of copyright. So they had the Mammoths, which would be a good one.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the Utah Hockey Club has grown on a lot of. I don't know if they have that as their third jersey, the Utah Hockey Club. Like,
I suspect
Yeah.
that that's
Go from
exactly
that
what'll
to-
happen. Yeah. There's a real good chance
Yeah.
that that'll be the third.
Yeah. I don't like the Mammoths is a good name. I like that.
Mhm.
I don't mind the Utah Hockey Club has grown. Beyond. I mean, at
Oh.
first I thought, geez, that's lame. But now I think about it, I go, you know what? That's what they are. And if you're in a market where maybe not everybody knows what hockey is, I'm not sure how that works in Salt Lake City, and at least you know what you're going to watch.
Yeah.
Watching hockey, okay.
It'd be better if it was the Utah Hockey Club, and it was a pickleball league or something. Just
It was like
totally,
curling.
totally motherfuck people.
I just
I
think it's
thought
too
I
much of a
was-
soccer thing to really stick in the NHL. So
Well, that's the thing, though, right? There's that whole soccer club. Yeah. So who do you think I think the Canucks are going to make the playoffs. That's my prediction. I know the Flames are going to suffer for it, but that's what I think is going to happen. They're going to
I'm
win this
thinking-
game today. They're going to win their next one against the Devils, and then probably lose one after that, and then they're going to come home. They got a couple of easy games to play, and then it's over. So they just got to keep it together. And if Besser and Peterson keep scoring like they have been, that's going to bode well. They've been doing pretty good, and they're getting goals out of like the weirdest sides of the team too. Like third line got some. That's pretty good. They've been playing good. Hughes is healthy-ish by the looks of things. Lincoln's awesome. I think they're going to make it. They're going to squeak in with 80 some odd points over the season, and then they're going to get completely destroyed by the Golden Knights. Sadly.
Yeah, or if Edmonton catches Vegas too, you never know.
yep,
Yeah, maybe.
they're only points. They're only a couple points back. So just a matter of catching fire now. But
Think about that. What do you think would happen if it was Canucks and Oilers last year? That was a drawn out battle, and if it wasn't for Draisaitl and Connor McDavid, they weren't going to go past the Canucks. That was a tough one.
Well, if it wasn't for Connor and Draisaitl, they wouldn't be in the playoffs.
Well, I know that too, but like
if
Like
you
it-
guys
like
hadn't
it-
had if you guys hadn't had a goaltender come out of absolutely nowhere,
I know
last
Seeloff
year,
was absolutely mysterious. Like
Yeah.
at the end though, they figured him out, right? Like he just can't save a goal through traffic. It's a place that's super weak. And now when they put him in, everybody knows what his weakness is, and they just fire puck high slot through traffic, and that's where goals are coming. And until the
Yeah.
kid figures that out, he's not an NHL goalie. But man,
That's
did he
pretty-
stand on his head?
That's
Yeah.
pretty good strategy for any team. Pucks high slot traffic.
Well, I know, but whatever it is, he's weaker than the average NHL goalie on that.
Yeah, well, every goalie can have a run. There's been
Yeah.
tons of them in the NHL where, playoffs you find, like I said, lightning in a bottle, and you find a goaltender who's young, unproven, and goes lights out. And the key is the next year, like you said, to get figured out, and that'll be the same as Wolf. That'll be his. But I think the way he plays, there's not a lot of weakness in the game. He'll be able to. He doesn't, he's not making all big flashy saves. He makes the odd one, but for the most part, he's pretty sound, pretty square to the puck, and aggressive. I don't think that'll change.
it's not like we've had a Vezina Trophy winner disappear from the league in a couple of years right after winning. So, Jim Carey.
Mason, yeah, Carey, where you at, Carey?
Mason lasted a little longer at least, but
Yeah.
But Jim Carey was 2 years and he was gone. 3 years, I forget which it was. One of the two. But craziness. You go from being lights out for an entire season and being named best goalie of the year, stinking the next 2 years and being gone.
See you later.
Well, the level of physical activity you got to throw out to be a really great goalie. Well, any of these high level athletes, but you can hurt yourself irreparably, and it just doesn't come back together again.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be like the world's worst injury either. You get a minor, say like a tear in your groin or something, and it just doesn't ever heal. And you can you can do all the effort, you put all the energy in to try and fix it, but it doesn't work. And that's it. You're done. That's why
Speaking
they
of
got
there's a guy south of the border, Landeskog, that's skating regular drills, wearing the hitting practice jersey. By all accounts, listening, he's doing things that look like an NHL hockey player again. So look out.
Looking like you might be
Look
ready
out.
for the first round of the playoffs even.
Yeah, it's gonna be Colorado a wealth of hockey players there, and just add that guy into the mix, even at 70%. Just the presence, having another winger you can trust in any aspect in the game, and obviously it's the leader of that team. That's going to be. But go Colorado.
Yeah, look at a first round line first line of Colorado that could possibly have McKinnon centering Landeskog and Natchez. It's pretty tough to go up against. Three guys that can all score and all hit and play the game the right way.
And then they got that Nikushkin. If he can just manage to keep his train on the tracks for playoffs. You got another guy who's just about a point a game in playoffs.
Yeah.
Consistently. And then consistently leaves.
That's what you need. Win a game. That's the secret sauce.
Who frickin' knows?
Yeah. So hey, we only have a few more minutes left, I think, in this pod. I'm seeing the countdown.
Yeah.
What was that question? Embarrassing things with the in-laws.
Yeah. Go ahead. And anything ever happened to you that you look back and maybe, feel embarrassed about?
I don't know. Not really.
You've never motherfucked yourself in front of your wife's family. They've never.
No, I haven't actually. I never have. That's just never been the jam. And now I live there, so it's kind of a bit different. Like it's like every day.
I won a story on a radio contest at CJ92, and that was a question. The answer says, "What's the most embarrassing moment with your in-laws?" And so I told them the story about my 25th birthday golfing, and we had Yucca Flux on the Friday night. And for those who don't know, that's a bunch of fruit saturated in a whole bunch of booze, and you just eat it and drink the fluid. And needless to say, we didn't get much sleep. I think we had a 10 o'clock tee-off time the next day, and we were still eating Yucca Flux and drinking it on the way to the golf course. And very polluted, like tee box barely standing up type thing. It just shouldn't have went. And we had done the first 9, and my stomach just starts to grumble, and something bad's brewing. So I'm like, boys, I need to hit the outhouse. So I go into the outhouse. I pull my pants down, and I turn, and there's 2 holes. Like there's 2 places to drop ass. So I start giggling to myself, like, who does tandem shits nowadays? This is kind of messing with me. So I'm giggling.
Why are there 2 holes?
Yeah. Tandem.
I mean, it's like a his and her poops.
Yeah, I don't know. But, so I lost focus of where I was at, but there was a little ledge that you had to step up to get on top of the toilet. And as I went to go, I missed that step and I tripped, and I fell pretty hard to the one side of the outhouse. And just as I hit, well, God forbid I released. And it was not a texture that would hold together very well, if you know what I mean. It was more of a mist on a spray bottle. And so I let go, and I got it all over the back of my leg and shit like that. So I'm shit on myself, basically. So I'm like, for fuck's sake. So I get up and I clean myself best of my ability in the capacity that I had in my own brain. And I think I'm okay. And then I'm like, okay, I still got to fucking finish the job. So I go, and I, God forbid, and not a word of a lie, I tripped again and fell to the other side of the outhouse and shit myself again. And so now I've shit on myself twice. The guys are outside and they can just hear this fucking thud on one side. Holy fuck, me swearing. Thud on the other. They don't know what the fuck. So I spent another 10 minutes cleaning myself up again, and at this time I'm done. Nothing hit the bowl, but I'm done doing what I needed to do.
I feel for the poor, groundsman that has to go into that bathroom. You missed not 1 but 2 holes. You can't find a hole to poop in a 2-hole toilet.
No. So I clean myself off the best I can. I come out of the outhouse and they're all just laughing. I think there was 2 or 3 flights. We backed everybody up. I'm in there literally almost a half an hour with this fucking episode. So I get out and I'm like, boys, we're done. Got to go back to the acres. This golf game's over. I'm pretty upset. So they're like, okay, we got to stop at this liquor store and grab booze. And we get in the grocery getter, the old 2-door or 4-door sedan thing, and I'm in the back seat. And the boys like, what the fuck is that smell? And I look down and my socks just still have shit all over. Oh, boys, the shit on my socks fell. Like, all right. So they pull into this little strip mall where this liquor store is, and they park. I'm like, okay, I gotta take my shoes off. I very carefully get my socks off, trying to get shit all over my hands now. and I just rolled down the window, and I didn't look where I was throwing them, and I just threw them out the window. Well, I didn't know there was a minivan. A good mom's in the liquor store buying her booze, but left her kids in the minivan. And the one stock hit, but then the second stock stuck to the fucking big, the big side windows of the minivan. So the shit stocked up there.
Whoa,
And I could see the kids in there looking at it. And I'm like, ah, fuck's sake. So I just roll up the window, turn the other way, like did the ostrich, put my head in the sand, pretend like it didn't happen. So
God.
fucking thank God the boys came out before the mom did. So I'm like, let's get out of here, fellas. They're like, why? I just pointed out the window and the fucking shit stocks sticking to the fucking side of the van. So this is all with my in-laws. And so we get back to the acreage, and it's I don't know, barely after noon, maybe 1:30, somewhere in there. I went to bed because I was just torched. Go to sleep, wake up the next morning at the campfire, and they're like, "Oh, you missed your birthday, so we'll celebrate it today." And my brother-in-law goes, "Yeah, I got you a new golf."
Other side of 50-year-olds do podcasts on the internet. I think that's the Google search that will bear fruit.
That will bear fruit.
All right, so you had just left. Let me recap. After an evening of debauchery, you have pooped yourself, and now you are fleeing the scene of having left your poo-covered sock on some poor soccer mom's
Window.
van voice window.
Yeah, and then I got back, like I said, and went to sleep. Woke up the next morning, and they're celebrating my birthday there. Had some cake. But my brother-in-law said, you got your golf shoes dirty, so here's some new ones. And they put rubber boots, and they cut pie plates like in a moon shape and taped them to the back where the Achilles tendon is. And that'd be my poo catchers, so they didn't get on my socks anymore. It was pretty good looking rubber boots. But the radio show, so they put this on, so they let the fans vote. And it was me and another guy were pretty close. His story was pretty great too. He was in the back of his mother and father-in-law's car drunk, same kind of shit. And he went to go talk to his mother-in-law in the front seat, and he threw up at the same time and puked on the back of her head. That was a pretty good way to meet the in-laws. But the masses voted, and they started calling me Poo Boy after that. And I won. So I won a weekend ski trip with hotel and dinner and lift passes and all that shit. And so I told the wife, you go get those tickets. I don't want to go down there. So Jan had to go claim our prize to Kicking Horse and everything. But they played that on CJ92. I'd have guys calling me, "Are you Poo Boy fully?" I'm like, "Yep, that's sorry."
That's hilarious.
But like you said, the
Your
family
internet-
that I'm married into's got a great sense of humor. I never
There you
hear about it.
No, never, I'm sure.
I'm sure it doesn't come up in public.
Bubba, you have anything that your in-laws looked at and you went, "Jesus, what? Our daughter married?"
Nothing like that. I mean, I'll tell you what, though. I had the most uncomfortable conversation with her dad because I had to go and tell him that I had gotten his daughter pregnant and then was going to marry her.
Wait a minute.
Shotgun.
Yes.
No, so you're 21. You got her preggers, and but she didn't tell her parents. She's like, you did.
She
this
had told her
and-
mom, but she made me go tell her dad.
What? Why?
Yeah, because that's the way it was.
Okay. All
It's the right thing to do.
And I
You
had
like
to
that.
go and sit down and choke down a glass of scotch with him. And for
Oh.
anybody that doesn't know me, I didn't drink a lot before, and I don't drink it all now, and I never drank scotch.
Oh.
It's not my thing at all. So
So
it was,
okay, so you wait. I want to understand this conversation. So she's your ex-wife now though, right? But
she's my
anyway,
ex-wife now. Yeah.
But at the time, was she the same age and or was she younger than you?
Oh, 3 years younger, so she just turned 19
She had just turned 19.
because I was just about to turn 22.
Oh wow! So you come in, daughter, just out of high school. Right?
Yeah, she'd spent the last year at Grand Prairie going to college.
Okay, so you're ruining her college career by
Yes.
you doing this to her. Wow. So how did it go? Was he like you're a piece of dog poo, or did
He
just go,
never.
well,
I could tell the steam was rolling out of his ears. His eyes were bulging out of his head, and he nearly crushed my hand when I shook his hand.
which
And
is a feat. You've literally broke my hand shaking it, Bubba.
yeah, I know.
was her dad also like a giant of a human, or did he just have incredible
was-
grip strength, or was he have an old man like
he
anger
had a lot of
issues?
old man strength, angry
Yeah.
man strength. I mean, he
My
was 6'1",
19-year-old daughter, fucking
big
future-
barrel chested.
Right?
You know, he wasn't a little man by any stretch of the imagination. But you
This
know,
monster of a the only thing in his mind is this monster of a man is on top of my daughter.
Oh God, Jesus!
Well, come on. What would you
Well,
you know you have to have sex to have a child, right? It's
yeah, I understand. I understand all
not the
that.
immaculate conception here. God
I
didn't
feel
come
like I'm not sure.
push something in her belly. I don't know why
that
you
would
get
be
so weirded
something-
out
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
For all the
I don't
stuff
know.
that comes out of your mouth, I say, daughter picturing her dad looking at this huge man, wondering and mad that his daughter's pregnant and her future is absolutely destroyed.
Yeah.
No offense, Bubba,
yeah,
but any kid at that age is it's a tough one
Yeah.
when you're not expecting it. If you're planning on it and you got the means, that's a good time. But you were both in college at the time, weren't you?
no,
You were an older
I
already?
had just come off. I had gone to college and come back and was playing hockey.
Oh,
so you
I'd
were,
spent my 1 year in college and found it wasn't for me and was back playing hockey. So.
so you were just a dirtbag junior B kid. Yeah, dad's just fucking miffed.
Yeah, I
That's-
mean, I was working for my parents and I had a decent job, but still.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what? It all worked out. You end up with kids. That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't work out, I guess, in the context of it, it ended at some point, but the kids are there and they're good, right?
I have the absolute greatest kids. Yes.
See, there you go.
I'll second that. We're at the frickin' scholarship meetings, her and your daughter and TJ and Bubba's daughter TJ. And every forced scholarship was your kid.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, she did.
every-
Both girls
every-
did really well with their scholarships. So
The whole community just rallied behind them. Like I knew for sure they were gonna get the your parents and yourself are into showing off old cars and car shows and shit like. So I knew that was a shoe in. But then it's like every agriculture, every frickin' business, every any kind of scholarship that was in memory of somebody. It was another rude kid got a scholarship. Holy shit! Where's the rest?
That's good.
certainly did better than her dad and her uncle. So
Yeah.
There you go. Are they at school still? They must be.
Nope.
Where are they at?
well,
No, they're not.
Kim's gonna go back because she just about finished her teaching and then she decided that she didn't want to be a teacher. So she's going to Fairview next fall to do vet tech.
Yeah.
But Jessie's finished school and she's a power engineer and she works for Birchcliff. She's got a
Karen?
oh yeah, she's got a great job at a plant south of Bonanza. So
Oh yeah. There you go.
just
I don't know if
Loves
I
it
don't know
well,
if
too.
I would ever describe. I mean, great job, power engineer. That's great. Good deal, all that good stuff. But living south of Bonanza just seems like.
no, she's working there. She lives
Isn't
in
that Bennett?
she lives in Farmington, but
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough.
That's a good hike.
yeah,
That is actually not, that's not close.
no, she's got just about an hour drive to go to work every day. So
Ugh,
That's a highway in the winter, man. Tell you what.
that can be
Mhm.
nasty. Especially that. Yeah.
when the weather's crappy, her grandma lives in town, so she'll stop in and stay with her, or sometimes she'll stay with me. So
It's good. It's good option.
What's
she
she doing
has,
out
she
in
has
Farmington?
options. So when the weather isn't good, she doesn't feel like driving all the way. It's half the drive now. So
Well, Farmington's not that far. But you could, depending on where you are.
yeah.
Who is she? You got a partner out there? Is that what's going on? That way.
No, she's got a place on her mom and stepdad's property. So
Oh,
she's got her own little house. So
oh, nice.
Little house on the prairie.
Little house on the
it's
literally on.
it's literally one of those little tiny home things. Like and for
Yeah.
her right now, it's perfect. She can when she buys land later on, she can move it onto her property, or she
Oh,
can
yeah.
maybe sell it to her sister. We'll see what there's options and anyway. And I think for now it's really great for her.
Yeah, that's cool. No rent. Yeah.
Well, that being said, guys, I got little to nothing else left in the bank. It was a longer episode. Covered a lot of hockey.
Mhm.
Little couple stories about our families. I'm glad I got to talk about my mother. God rest her soul. Great woman. and got to get a little insight on our families a little bit. And I don't think we said anything to get ourselves in trouble. So I think that's a win.
Good stuff.
It's a win. Bubba will have this out sometime today or early tomorrow.
Should be
For those
today,
of
yeah.
you that just crave the barium. I get it. Don't be afraid to snap it around to some of your buddies or family or friends that you think might want to listen. We're trying, getting incrementally better in some areas and incrementally worse in others. But by episode 165, if we're around that long, I'm sure we'll be firing on all cylinders. But other than that,
Have it
you
covered.
two have a great week with your weekend with your kid. Hi to Ethany for me. She's a beauty. Bubba, you and I might sit here and
Watch a
get
little
our
hockey.
eyes swollen watching hockey all freaking day, which is something I like to do. I do have a golf game tonight at the indoor golf in Dawson, the golf barn, against Frankenstein, who absolutely gives me a gaping every time. We're handicapping this one though. We're going to play match play, so my holes that I get 9 and 10 on don't hurt me as bad. Sure.
Yeah.
But other than that, guys, thank you
All right.
again for being part of this, and I'm happy I'm a part of it, and I keep giving her.
Thanks
what
everybody for
happens.
listening.
Yeah, thank you. We'll talk to you all soon. Bye.
Sounds good, guys.
Fuck you, San Diego.